This is the second part of our grammar lesson on passive voice. There are two other forms of passive. There's passive infinitives and there's passive gerunds. We'll break it into a bit more detail. So, in passive infinitives, we use the infinitives in a passive sentence. Let's have a look at an example. The bike needs someone to repair it, but someone is a subject. So we don't need someone to make it a passive sentence using infinitives. Let's replace that someone with an infinitive. What do you think? The bike needs to be repaired. To be repaired is the infinitive form of the verb repair. So therefore, the bike needs to be repaired is a passive sentence using infinitives. So let's practice. So we're using infinitive forms of the verb to make a passive sentence. So let's look at this sentence. The computer seems something by another user. So controlled is the verb, but we need the infinitive form in a passive sentence. What do you think? The computer seems to be controlled. To be controlled is the infinitive form of the verb controlled. Let's try another one. What do you think? The meeting is, and the verb is conducted, on the Zoom platform. So what's the infinitive form in a passive sentence? That's right. The meeting is to be conducted on the Zoom platform. So this is a passive sentence using infinitives. Okay, let's move over to passive gerunds. So in this sentence it says, workers like retail shop owners, treating them as equal members of the community. Now in this sentence, retail shop owners is a subject. We don't need this in a passive sentence including gerunds. So what we want to do is remove that and add a gerund instead. What do you think we could do to change the sentence to add a gerund? Workers like being treated. So the gerund here is being, and obviously we're using the verb in this past tense of treat to being treated. So therefore we're using a gerund in this passive sentence. Let's have a practice. So you've got, in parentheses, you've got the verb offer. So doctors are, the verb offer, a job with a higher salary. So what do you think we could add as a passive gerund in this sentence? That's right. Doctors are being offered. So being is the gerund and offered is the past tense of the verb. Let's try another one. Free face masks are, and the verbs give, to the public entering hospitals and supermarkets. What do you think would go in the gap using a gerund? That's right. Free face masks are being given to the public entering hospitals and supermarkets. It's worth noting that only transitive verbs can be used in a passive voice. Intransitive verbs do not have a passive form. However, many verbs have both transitive and intransitive meanings. So please check your learner's dictionary for a clearer description of the verbs that you wish to choose. Okay, here are some common errors. Number 1. We don't form passive structures with intransitive verbs. For example, we don't say she was died. We would say she died. Number 2. We don't form passive structures with verbs that describe states. So we do not say, the dress isn't suited by those shoes. We say, those shoes don't suit the dress. Number 3. We use the past form of be plus born to talk about someone's birth. So we don't say, she is born at home. We say, she was born at home, using the past form of the verb to be. Okay, now it's time again to go back to the book and have a bit more practice. Please turn to page 151 in Q Skills 5, Reading and Writing, Unit 5. Okay, in Activity C, on page 151, it tells you to complete each sentence with a passive infinitive or a passive gerund, just like we did in the examples before. So the first one's done for you. You'll see the verb in brackets, and you will complete it with either the infinitive passive or the passive gerund. So in number 1, it says the architect agreed to be interviewed for this story. So to be interviewed is the infinitive form of the passive. Please complete the rest of the exercise and pause the video. Thereafter, the answer key will be provided. Here is the answer key for Activity C, page 151. Please pause the video and check your answers. For further practice on passive voice, please go to the LMS. Thank you for watching this video.